Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Ring Ramble podcast. My name is V.
My name's Brad.
And, go ahead.
Today we're going to review a horrible Raw, a good NXT, and a great Smackdown. So we're going to first start off with a very, very boring Raw.
Yeah, it's not going to take very long, and I really wanted to get through it because it was a busy week for myself in particular. So I did not really write a whole lot of specifics when it came to matches, so it's going to be very quick. But Monday Night Raw, October 14th edition. Rhea Ripley arrives first through backstage. She addresses Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez for their shenanigans last SmackDown. She demands them to come in, with Tiffany Stratton coming out instead. Tiffany says she's here to send a message from Nia Jax, who says Rhea needs to stay out of Nia's business. Rhea says she doesn't have time for that. She's focused on Raquel and Liv. Both women end up bickering, with Liv and Raquel coming in, and Rhea got kicked by Raquel and ended up actually slamming her head on Tiffany's heel when she was landing on the mat, which was pretty damn nasty.
Yeah, not a good fall.
But I have to add, no pop for Raquel whatsoever. No pop.
I don't know if it was. I mean, Vienna was saying it was pre-recorded, so I mean, obviously they just didn't add the cheers or something.
Well, wouldn't that give them more time to add?
I mean,
the cheers?
you would think so, but yeah, it looks bad. And the thing I think that I have to just address really quick: her facial expression, her demeanor, pretty much shows that she is not happy, like either being there or. The character, I don't know what it is, but it shows that it's just something she's not down with what's going on.
I'll cut her some slack though, because we did notice that there was some like audio mess ups.
Oh yeah, there were some audio mess ups for sure.
Like for both Monday Night Raw and kind of SmackDown as well. So could have been that, but
I don't think so.
The reception of her online is not very good.
Yeah,
so
no one's happy about it.
Rhea heads to Adam Pearce saying that she wants Raquel and Liv tonight. Adam says she's got it, but she can't fight alone. Rhea says she doesn't want nor need a partner. Tiffany Stratton comes in and yells at Adam for treating her like this as Miss Money in the Bank, and Nick Aldis would never do that to her. Adam asks, what about Tiffany as partner to Rhea? And Rhea says fine, and Tiffany is confused. Dream Team.
I don't think so.
For me, I guess.
Yeah, I don't think so at all. No. No dream team.
Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair versus Damage Control. Kairi Sane and Io Sky for the Women's Tag Team Championships. Jakar Jackson and Last Legend were in the crowd, and this is pretty important going forward. Surprisingly, Jade starting out this match first, but it was against Io Sky, seasoned wrestler, so that's exactly who she needs to go against. Right. Weird spear move by Bianca. I've never seen her do a spear before. It just didn't look very good. Great show of strength by Jade. This is something that they've been doing with Jade a lot lately. She's been put in matches more frequently,
right? Like
more time given to her, right. And a lot of it is her just showing how strong she is.
Pretty much.
So, but it's cool. Jade slammed Bianca onto the floor accidentally during their combo move. Cool move by Io and Kairi, where Io pumped up Kairi for the insane elbow in the middle of the ring.
That was an awesome move.
Jade and Bianca start arguing with Jakara and Lash, where Io Sky comes in arguing with them, and Jakara and Lash attack Io. Io going into the ring, Bianca giving the kiss of death, and retains the title. That was the lame part about that.
Shenanigans.
That was the lame part because, you know, we're Damage Control stands.
Right, but at least they lost due to some sort of tomfoolery.
Yeah.
So, like, at least it makes them still look strong.
That's true.
And props to Jade. I mean, she's looking better.
Yeah.
I think they're really trying to get her to a certain point where she's going to start running that solo run. I think she's not going to be in a tag team forever. But
oh yeah, I definitely the next time they lose it is
but she's definitely doing a lot better.
For sure.
She's still stiff on the drops though when she takes hits. When she takes bumps, she's very stiff.
That's true.
And that doesn't come across very well. But I think eventually when she can get to that, her tools and everything else, she'll be good. That's
for sure.
Really the only issue.
JD McDonough and Finn Balor visit Adam Pearce. Finn demands a rematch with Damian Priest. Adam says that instead of looking for a match with Damian Priest, he should defend the tag team titles since they haven't been defended in a long time, which is very true. And Adam has set up a tournament for the World Tag Team titles. Liv asked Finn if he got his match, but he said no. Liv introduces Raquel Rodriguez. Crickets.
Yeah.
Nobody cared.
Nobody cared.
And Carlito seemed to be like shy around her for some reason. I'm like, I don't like this angle.
There's a love interest about to begin.
Yeah.
Everyone.
I'm like, please, I don't like this. Don't let it happen.
That's what it's gonna happen.
I hope not.
It's going to. That's why that's going on.
Well, they did the same thing with Jay and Rhea, and it's not like they're together canonically.
This is what they're doing. They have to do something.
American Made vignette. It was pretty hilarious. Very patriotic. Almost felt like a very cheesy skit from the boys, but that's basically it. It was just them talking about, we're going to show what American Made is all about. Braun Breaker vignette. He reveals why he turned his back on Jey Uso, and that was due to Jey not reciprocating his respect for Braun as a wrestler. He said that they're unlike one another. Braun doesn't need his family's legacy, while Jey has been using his family's legacy for everything he is worth, and now he wants to go solo. Braun is basically insulted and says he's coming back for the title. Pretty good. That was a good vignette.
And it made a lot of sense, too.
Yeah, it made a lot of sense, because I was like, yeah, why would he do that? And then I'm like, I get that.
I mean, the fact that Braun Breaker is not Braun Steiner or whatever his name was going to be, or like with the Steiner attached to it. And he's sitting there saying that, it's a good one, and it makes a lot of sense. I mean, obviously, the family legacy is not as big. The Steiners was just his uncle and his dad. Yeah. I mean, that's as far as it. That's as far as it went. So I mean, for anybody that's like a huge fan and followed wrestling for a long time, you can appreciate it slightly. Yeah. That it is a legacy. But if you want to break it down, they're not really on the same level at all. No, not at all.
Still, and that's coming from myself, who's like a Steiner fan.
Yeah, but it's still cool, though.
That's true. Adam Pearce and Bronson Reed are speaking to one another. He said, Adam said that what he's been doing with Braun Strowman the past couple of weeks has put everyone in danger. Bronson apologizes, but he would have won had it not been for Seth during that last Monster Standing match. He wants this match with Seth. He wants the spotlight. He wants to show Adam that he is a top guy in the WWE. Damn, dude, not harder.
I mean, it's so true, though. I mean, like I said, when I said he was one of my favorite wrestlers currently right now, it's because, the dude is he's a great wrestler. He's skilled with his size. I'm glad that he is actually getting the bump that he deserves. Well, they need to have somebody else be a dominant force in wrestling right now. Can't be the same guys, man. This is a guy that I think can do really a good job if it's done right, for sure.
True. Yeah. Adam Pearce says that he hopes that he and Bronson are on the same page, and he will discuss it with Seth Rollins. I hope that Bronson would win that one, but
I think if they want to keep this momentum going forward with him, that he does need to win.
Yeah, I think so. Show his dominance for sure. I mean, for someone like Seth. And a lot of respect for Seth on my end, because I'm not a big Seth fan. But if he were able to lose to Bronson like that, I'd be pretty nice. With it. I think so too.
I think Seth Rollins knows knows him from his indie days.
Yeah, and also Seth has already cemented his place as a pretty prevalent figure in WWE, so he wouldn't be losing that much, especially
No, not especially to someone like Bronson Reed. He's a big guy.
Exactly.
It's bigger wrestlers can beat. I actually find it more believable when I see a bigger wrestler beat a star, because it kind of makes sense.
Right.
Because we're doing the whole underdog story where it's like, the little guy could always beat the big guy. I mean, and sometimes I'm like, not all the time.
Hey, dude, when John Cena lifted up Big Show.
Oh, that was awesome. Yeah, and that was a
great example of that.
That was a great example of where it worked.
Yeah, that's true. American Alpha, Akira Tozawa and Otis versus the War Raiders. Eric and Ivar return. This was awesome, but I'm a little confused. Okay, so I don't know if I've misheard this when I've heard it, but I swear that Eric and Ivar, when they were dubbed War Raiders in NXT, they did not like the name because it was broad. That's why they chose the Viking Raiders, because it was a little more specific to something. And also I think outside of that, I know that Eric, when he had his wedding with Sarah Logan, they had a straight up Viking wedding. So I'm like, okay, sure. I mean, that means that they hang with that kind of stuff. So I believe that they want to be like a Viking Raider kind of thing. I don't know if I'm wrong that they didn't like the War Raider name, but they're War Raiders now.
Well, if they didn't like it, and the fact that they brought it back as that, I mean, makes it kind of a slap in the face for them, because they can't really go and change it to the Viking Raiders now, especially since you came back.
Exactly.
So
That's how I'm like,
yeah, it's an odd thing.
That was the number 1 contenders match for the World Tag Team titles, that tournament that.
And I'm glad that they
ended up winning.
Yeah, I'm glad they ended up winning. That's a good team. I'm sorry once again for anybody that thinks American Alpha is gonna.
I love American Alpha.
I do too, but it's just like it's not gonna happen. Going anywhere.
Yeah, no, it's not gonna happen. Seth Rollins speaks with Adam Pearce. Seth says that he wants this match with Bronson Reed, but Adam is apprehensive because Seth hasn't been healthy and has been, for the most part, injured throughout this year. Seth was like, yeah, I know, but it's part of the game to have injuries, and he knew what he was getting into becoming a wrestler. He's just got to fight through the pain, and Seth says he needs this match, so Adam better think about it. And since then, that match has been made official, obviously.
So
but I don't know for
week?
when. I don't know for when. Maybe. Cody Rhodes comes to the ring. Cody mentions that how in that very building, what happened?
I could tell you later.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's because we have a because my dad didn't watch Smackdown, so it's like playing in the background but on mute.
Yeah.
And he's just watching it at the same time while I share this boring raw information. Okay, so Cody mentions how in that very building that he is in, that was the first time that the We Want Cody movement had started. Gunther immediately comes in. Gunther says there's not much negative to say about Cody. The boom of wrestling happened on Cody's back. There was thank you Cody chants. Gunther mentions he has a lot of respect for Cody, but there's just one thing, is that he loves to be everyone's darling. And he mentions Kevin Owens. And he basically, the reason why he mentions Kevin is because he says everybody's friend is nobody's friend, as Cody is pretty much well liked by everybody else. Kevin in particular, also Randy, but mostly Kevin because he's vocalized it the most, has helped him, and also not given like reciprocated help in return. He's had like a losing streak with the Bloodline, and Kevin has unfinished business of his own with the Bloodline, but he's kind of taking care of Cody's business with the Bloodline for him. Therefore, Gunther basically was like, I believe what Kevin is saying. Like, you're really not a true friend because you haven't really helped him.
You know, that's just him probably stirring the pot.
Oh no, but I honestly agree with him.
But it's the same. Gunther comes out always.
Yeah,
like,
he always
with
says
a lot
something.
of pleasantries, and he's very nice.
Yeah.
But then it immediately turns into goes south, and he starts to become like passive and talking smack and all that stuff.
I can't remember particularly what he said though, but I know that Gunther insinuated something about Cody not having to like struggle with like people crawling behind his back or something, because he's basically insinuating that Gunther has that with like Sammy creeping over him. But Cody was saying like, you're mistaken, like not everybody's my friend, when he was saying that everybody loved him.
Sure,
he's like, not everybody's my friend. I like constantly people are coming at me, have the Bloodline and all this other stuff. So, which is true. And he said that he's noticed that Gunther has become a broken man and been very extremely uncomfortable over Sami Zayn of all people breaking him since his like loss at WrestleMania.
That does affect the person's ego, one that loses.
Oh, especially to Sami Zayn.
Right, especially because he's already established that in another vignette in the past where he said like it because of his own father. Remember how he was saying his own father was disappointed.
Oh, that was the conversation. Yeah.
Right,
Gunther says that Cody is spoken like a true secondary champion. Cody says Gunther has become frightening, but Cody also did defeat the most dominating champion in wrestling in Roman Reigns, and both men shake hands, which is so true, because I'm like, Gunther like is so, he's this big powerhouse, but I'm like at the same time, Cody did like,
he didn't beat the streak, and he finished the story. That's the thing. He beat the streak of Roman Reigns.
But I'm surprised. I'm hoping that when they do meet up, assuming before the crown jewel again, Gunther and Cody, I hope Gunther says like, bitch, you didn't win that match alone. You had all these other people help you for that match.
That's true.
Which is the same thing for Roman. Obviously, he had a lot of people helping him in the match. There was just no way. But that's a good thing to point out as well.
That's true, because I mean, Gunther's always won clean. It's not like anyone's ever interfered for him to get a victory.
No, I don't think
At
so.
least
I
not
don't.
to my
I don't.
knowledge.
I'm trying to think. Did Ludwig Kaiser come in? I don't know. I don't think so. Kofi Kingston versus Braun Breaker match. Surprisingly, not ending as quick as I expected. But what I found very funny was that Xavier certainly lost to Jay much faster than this match has been going. And but I'm not surprised because Kofi Kingston is also a past champion, so and he's much better than Xavier Woods. Braun basically speared for the win. And Xavier was telling Braun to get out of the ring while he checks on Kofi, as if he's very intimidating. And Braun attacks Xavier from behind. Jey Uso comes out to super kick and spear Braun. That's that. Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley are speaking backstage. Rhea asks if Damian has given more thought into what they talked about. And what they talked about was that now that Damian has got his revenge on Finn, he could progress to being El Campeón again, champion again. As long as Rhea has beef with the Judgment Day, Damian said he has beef with the Judgment Day. So for right now, he's going to put the championship picture aside and help out Rhea against them. So, yeah. Jey Uso's walking backstage and runs into his brother Jimmy, who wants to talk. Oh, wait, it was backwards. No, that's right. Jey Uso was walking backstage, goes into, I think his changing room thing or his private room, and runs into his brother Jimmy, who said he wants to talk, and Jey walks away. R-Truth versus The Miz. Truth was just trying to be friends with The Miz, trying to shake hands and all this stuff. Final Testament come in, and Truth rolls up The Miz and ends up winning the match. Truth rolls out of the ring and foolishly walks towards the Final Testament to try to dab them up. Who threw Truth back in, and Miz delivered a skull-crushing finale. And got booed.
So is The Miz going to join the Final Testament now?
He said it he doesn't want to. He's told them constantly, I don't want to. But he might. I mean, he might change his mind, but who knows? Jimmy Uso is backstage looking for Jey Uso some more, his brother. And Jimmy asked, when he finally finds Jey, he asked to be heard, and Jey said, "No, get out of my face. My face is your face." That's what I was thinking.
We're just going to build that up for a while.
Oh, yeah. Tiffany Stratton and Rhea Ripley. Oh, this is the main event. Tiffany Stratton and Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. Raquel tagged them first to face off Rhea for Liv, because Liv looked kind of scared. Tiffany tags in Rhea before Rhea can even fight Raquel. Tiffany is doing a lot of flips. Raquel did a vertical suplex on Tiffany, whilst Tiffany not even being vertical whatsoever. She looked like she was leaning on her shoulder more than anything. And I don't know if Raquel was flopping very hard throughout this, but for a solid 5 to 10 seconds, the camera zoomed in on the ref and Rhea's face while Raquel was in the ring. Rhea did a riptide on Liv, and Raquel ends up breaking the count. Liv rolls away from the prettiest moonsault, and while Rhea was getting dealing with Raquel outside, Nia Jax came in and pummeled through them. The match was called off, and Nia attacks Liv with a Samoan drop, a leg drop, and an annihilator. Nia tells Tiffany to cash in. Tiffany grabs her briefcase, but before she can cash in, Dominic Mysterio pulls out Liv and saves her. That was the end of that show.
So what would you consider the best match of Raw?
Best match of Raw? The Io Sky one, I guess.
I guess so.
Yeah.
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 The tag team match was,
And if we're gonna do worse, I'm gonna say the Truth and Miz one, just because it
was
really so quick, it didn't mean anything.
Yeah, there was really nothing on that one.
Yeah. So, but definitely not my favorite match of the week, though. That one.
For sure.
All right. NXT October 15th edition. Tony D'Angelo's in the ring to celebrate his win as the new NXT North American champion with his family. However, he wants to give a toast to Obafemi for being the longest reigning North American champion and the first man to break him. However, Tony says he actually baited Oba into thinking that he was broken and seized him where he wanted him to be and beat Oba. It's far from over, but he toasts to Obafemi. Obafemi coming out. Oba says congratulations, but it won't happen again. And at Halloween Havoc, he will regain the championship and he will once again be the ruler of NXT. And the D'Angelos will not be by his side to help him. Oba spins the wheel and the match will be a table, ladders, and skiers. Whatever that means.
Whatever that means. Whatever the scares mean.
Yeah, whatever the scares mean.
Okay.
I'm leaning towards that Oba might get it back.
I think Oba's gonna get it back. I don't think it's gonna be Tony D'Angelo. I don't think he's gonna win. He won with a roll up. He did trickery to win that match.
Plus, you know what? I think it's gonna. It's gonna happen because Tony's switching up, saying "Oh, I wasn't actually scared. I was just doing it for pretend."
Yeah,
but then when
sure.
Oba beats him again, he's gonna be like, a broken man again.
Right.
I think that would be pretty cool. Oro Mensah is interviewed about his gentleman's rules match with Lexis King. He says that Lexis is just annoyed for being beat at his own game. Lexis showed up and said that he's not proud for cheating before, but tonight they will have a fair match, so may the best man win. Stephanie Vaquer versus Ren Sinclair. This was Stephanie Vaquer's debut match. Cool submission moves by both women. Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade were watching backstage. Hilarious move by Stephanie. She wrapped her legs around Ren's head and kind of just started slamming her head into the mat.
Yeah,
it was pretty funny. Nasty dragon screw by Stephanie, followed by a Meteora. Interestingly, nasty finisher by Stephanie. I'm not quite sure how to explain it.
So she does it's kind of like she like it's like a power bomb type position, but she curls, like she bends the legs.
She puts her leg up and hits them on their back. And then she drops them onto like their knee. Upper shoulder. Yeah. That's what it looked like.
I don't know what her signature move is called.
Well, Stephanie ended up winning that match, and Cora Jade and Roxanne attack Stephanie, with Julia coming in to Stephanie's aid. Stephanie grabs the mic, and I will say this exactly how she said it. You two versus Atu. Halloween Havoc. Not very good English. But you know what? It's okay. Because she speaks a different language.
It's cool.
See, Ricochet, he's got no excuse. Okay, English was his first language.
It's cool, but I just have to say that I'm not feeling this Cora Jade being involed with these two extraordinary women.
Dude, I totally
of the
get you.
Division, dude.
I get you. Roxanne matches this.
Roxanne is there,
Cora
dude.
Jade.
But Cora Jade makes no sense.
Yeah,
I do not see.
No.
I mean, I asked V all the time, like, was she ever good?
I personally don't think so.
I don't even think I've ever seen her wrestle. Ever. Like, I think she's got a very AJ Lee style of wrestling, I must say. Oh, boy. Okay, well
AJ
there's only
Lee's
one
great.
AJ Lee,
Well,
dude.
that's
what I'm saying. I mean, okay, well.
She's okay.
I'm just not feeling it with her. That's all.
Yeah, she's okay, but I still don't think she fits that picture at all.
Right.
Trick Williams and Kalani Jordan are speaking about their matches ahead of Halloween Havoc, and Trick is speaking about the qualifier match that will happen tonight for his championship, and that will be at Halloween Havoc. Kalani is asked about who she's going to face, and Kalani says she basically doesn't know who will get their match against her at Halloween Havoc, but while they walk away, the Fatal Influence are behind, and I'm like, which one of you?
Which when I saw that, I was just like, no one cares. Like, I mean, okay, look out for these three.
Yeah.
I mean, we already know it's going to be either...
It's going to be either JC Jane or Fallon.
Obviously.
I don't think it's going to be Jasmine.
It's not going to be the other girl that has her little intro thing where she's laying on her back and waving to the camera and then stops. Whatever her name is.
Jasmine Nix.
Yeah. It's definitely not her.
Backstage, Asante the Adonis gives a rose to Brinley Reese in front of Carmen Petrovic. Sean Spears ridicules Asante for speaking to women the way he does. Who knew? Sean Spears is such a feminist.
He's a gentleman, is what it is. He's a gentleman.
Sean was with Brooks Jensen, and he's like, I know Brooks feels the same way about how you speak about women. Basically, Brooks was being very domineering and seemed like he wanted a match against Sean Tate and Mr. Stone, stopping the men from fighting. In the moment, Carmen Petrovic picks up the rose petals that were crushed on the floor from the floor.
I did not understand that at all. But
Me neither. Lexis King versus Oro Mensah, gentleman's duel match. Lexis won using a bridge pin. He won like a true gentleman. JoJo reference, if you know, you know.
Oh, is that how he won?
Yeah. Oh. He like bridge pinned him and he won. Lexis and Oro shake hands, and Oro looked very confused. He was just looking at him like, what the hell? But yeah. All right. Backstage, Cedric Alexander and Javon Evans and Nathan Frazier and Axiom are talking, but then Wesley ends up showing up. Wes warns Javon to stay out of his way and to stay out of the championship picture, which I can't help but agree. Javon, yes, I know they want to build him up as this very young future champion.
I think he needs a little bit more.
He needs more time.
Yeah.
Especially like when it comes to promos. Okay, like this one for example. Look, I'm not from wherever he's from, so I'm sure whatever slang or stuff he uses, I'm not gonna understand. But he talks way too fast, and he's also kind of like, I feel like he mumbles a whole bunch. Like I don't understand what he's trying to say. And the important part of a promo is to kind of enunciate your words, make sure what your message is getting clear to people. I feel like he's not very good at doing that.
Well, you can't get good at it unless you keep on doing it. So
Right,
they're
exactly.
giving him
So
those opportunities, which is
he
cool.
needs- yeah.
But at the same time, he does not have. He needs some more experience.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Lola Vice versus Nikita Lyons. Nikita's comeback match. Crowd was going very well for Nikita.
Of course.
She had a lot of signs. People were screaming.
Oh, yeah.
She whipped out her nunchucks, did her nunchuck stuff, did her spin kick. She also twerked at some point during this match. I said, are you going to NXT?
No.
I thought you grabbed the controller right when I said.
No.
All right. Essentially, what happens in this match is Jada Parker interferes. Lola hitting her away, hitting Jada away to buy some time, but Lola gets kicked out of the ring by Nikita. That's when Jada actually hits her, and Nikita does a lion's roar splash thing and wins her first returning match.
I don't think she can do her move anymore.
I don't think so.
That's pretty much how she tore her hamstring.
No, it's not.
Well, it could affect it.
Lola basically just stared down Jada throughout that time. So,
Right.
Ava, GM Ava is congratulating Stephanie for her win in her debut, and Julia and Stephanie versus Roxanne Perez and Cora is going to happen at Halloween Havoc. Fatal Influence come in, and they're upset about the fact that Stephanie and Julia can just get matches that they want while they can't, which Ava was like, they have valid reasons and they've proven themselves in the ring.
And they're better.
And they're way better, yeah.
Basically, they're better.
So they felt like they were not getting a fair shot. So Ava was like, all right, 2 members of Fatal Influence face Stephanie and Julia next week for a title shot. I'm assuming for Kalani Jordan, but I'm like, at the same time, I'm like, there's going to be 2 people fighting and one of them gets an opportunity. I'm like, how does that even work?
I don't know.
Well, whatever. All the women look scared of Stephanie and Julia, but
as they should.
Yeah, Fallon accepts that challenge. So
as they should, because
I know they should.
They are those. I mean, obviously, I was reading this article. I think it was from the Professional Wrestler Insider saying that those 2 girls actually have to downplay their style.
Oh, I'm pretty sure.
Because they actually are hard hitting and aggressive. And they can't do that because that's not how WWE is.
Right.
So they have to downplay how they
I'm pretty
wrestle.
sure. I believe that. Yeah,
that's why I'm hoping they go
good.
up against each other eventually.
Because
yeah, then you'll actually see.
That's true.
What style that they do. Yeah.
Riley Osborne versus Ridge Holland. Immediately, Riley splashes onto Ridge. This match was a lot like the past one that they had, where Riley would get a few flips in, but once he gets caught, he's basically decimated. Thea Hale at ringside begs Ridge to stop his assault before Ridge could give his DDT onto Riley on the commentary desk. Andre Chase returns.
Oh.
You didn't know that.
No.
I know you didn't know that.
No.
But Andre Chase returns and attacks Ridge Holland. Ridge actually looked happy at the fact that Andre came, but obviously once he got attacked, he was full of a lot of rage and looked very convincing. Ridge Holland looked very convincing.
Is there a possibility those 2 guys can probably join together?
Who?
Ridge Holland and
Andre Chase?
Yeah.
No, they're gonna fight each other, man. I've said my stuff about Andre Chase. His looks deceive. He does not look like a wrestler, but he's a very good wrestler, I would say.
Oh, Andre Chase is the other guy.
Who'd you think I was thinking of?
I thought it was the other guy, the bigger dude.
Oh, Duke Hudson?
Yes.
Yeah,
That's what I thought.
No.
So Andre Chase
I feel like Ridge Holland is gonna win this one.
Well, obviously.
Because looking at the 2 of them, it's not very convincing for Andre to win that one.
True.
But yeah, we'll see. Tatum Paxley is backstage playing with her dolls in a broken doll house. She is interviewed about her attack on Wendy Chu last week, which I don't even think I mentioned at all. I don't think I mentioned that at all. Tatum assures that she's never forgot about what Wendy did to her, which is burn her dollhouse and all her stuff. Jada Parker is walking backstage with OTM and grabs the mic and flaunts cheating Lola's win against Nikita Lyons. Tatum got mad that she ruined her interview And Jada basically called Tatum a freak, and she's not willing to deal with her now. They all leave, and Wendy is stalking Tatum in the background. That's what you see. All right. Ashanti the Adonis versus Brooks Jensen. Sean Spears at ringside. This match is going on for a while until Carmen Petrovic heads to the ring and tries to kick Sean Spears. Carmen pours the rose petals that Brooks Jensen had crushed or that were given by Shantae onto the ring.
Wow.
Adonis starts apologizing to Carmen, but that distracts him. You would think it was distracting him. You would think that would ruin his chances. But guess what? Actually, the love fired him up to start assaulting Brooks.
No kidding.
Yeah.
So the power of love is what won this match for him.
He did not win though.
Oh.
He was powered up, but Brooks completed a hanging DDT and ended up winning that match. Sean Spears very joyous at this win, and Carmen and Ashante stare lovingly from afar.
All right.
Another Delta teaser. She was like climbing up this giant building that said NXT, and she crushed the sign that said NXT. So I know she's coming at Halloween Havoc, so they're just gearing up for that moment. Lexis King is backstage asking Charlie Dempsey if he saw his win against Oro Mensah. Charlie ends up congratulating him. Lexis King walks away and sees Tony and the D'Angelos. And Stax asked Tony, did you see the look in Oba's eyes earlier? And the boy, the GOAT, Luca Cristofino said, Tony, you got to focus up until Halloween Havoc. I got Oba next week. Tony's like, okay, you got it. Dude, he's going to single-handedly pummel Oba Femi, the fucking legal eagle.
Pretty much.
All right, main event. Ethan Page versus Wesley versus Javon Evans, number one contender for a shot against Trick Williams for the NXT Championship on Halloween Havoc. Goddamn. Nasty and weird cutter botch by Javon Evans. A very funny moment of Ethan being happy that Javon and Wes were fighting without him, essentially weakening themselves while he just relaxes. Both men kick Ethan away when they see his happiness. Wesley attempts a tornado DDT on to Ethan at ringside. But Ethan, basically with the strength, holds him. Ethan slams Wes into the apron and actually flipped him onto the commentary desk. But this is where Javon slammed onto Ethan onto the commentary desk, and that was pretty damn nasty. It was very hard. Like, he hit him very hard. It was gross. Nasty super kick and forearm series between all men. Wes was particularly impressive in this match, I must add. Again, more super kicks and forearms. Ending with all three men kicking each other's heads at the same time. Javon Evans gave a Spanish fly to Ethan from the top turnbuckle. Javon gave his cutter to Wes. Surprisingly, Wes kicks out of that cutter, which is insane. Page gets Javon an Eagle's Edge, but it was stopped by Wes. Ethan power bombs both men at the same time. Javon yet again does his twisting splash, and this time onto Wes. Ethan grabbed Javon for a roll-up and ends up winning.
So, let me ask you, do you think Wesley new, like, heel kind of, angle is actually benefiting him now? I mean, like, does he seem like he's a better wrestler? Like, more...
What does it make him a better wrestler?
More aggressive, not like, I don't know. I was kind of like wondering because like when I was watching it, I kind of see that like he seems a lot more entertaining now compared to how he was.
Honestly, I
think it's just more of the angle is what I'm guessing.
I thought the Rascals thing with Wes was
cool.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That was so short-lived. I felt like that was the best version of Wes.
They could have continued that.
Okay, yeah. Ethan Page grabs a mic after the match to warn Trick to come out. Ethan says that he's not going anywhere as long as he breathes. He won't stop until he gets a title. They end up spinning. Oh, Trick comes out, and they both spin the Halloween Havoc wheel and lands on Devil's Playground match. I don't know what that means. And Ethan hits Trick with the stage light randomly and takes the title and starts smiling and posing for the camera.
Huh.
Yeah. Card for... Oh, wait. Did I even say the card for next week's? I didn't. Oh, okay. Well, Raw. Back to Raw. I didn't say the card for next week, but it's the Authors of Pain versus the New Day. Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee versus the Creed Brothers. And Jey Uso versus Braun Breaker for the Intercontinental title yet again.
Huh.
Sounds a lot like the show that we went to, that's for sure.
Pretty much.
Yeah. And the NXT card for next week, Cole Custer. I had to search this guy up. He's a NASCAR driver. He will appear at NXT.
Wait, he's wrestling?
No, he's going to appear.
Oh.
Dude, why would a NASCAR driver?
I mean,
He's
maybe
old, man.
Oh, okay. Why was that important to bring up then?
Because that's what it said.
Oh.
Julia and Stephanie Vaquer versus the Fatal Influence are two members of the Fatal Influence. And Io Sky and Kairi Sane versus Jakara Jackson and Lash Legend. Io Sky and Kairi Sane will make their return to NXT.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is very cool. So, yeah.
Nice.
Smackdown, October 18th edition. Let's go. This was the better show of the week, I would say. The Bloodline heads to the ring first. Solo asks the crowd first to acknowledge him. Only a few hands, I see. Very disappointing. But he credits himself for making the Bloodline greater than it has ever been. And not Roman nor Jimmy can do anything about it, even mentioning how Jay also doesn't want anything to do with them. Solo demands that Roman comes to the ring by the end of the night and acknowledges him. Jey Uso arrives. Jay promising he won't fight Solo as long, because he's still his little brother. Jimmy and Roman aren't there, so Jay thought that they can get some one-on-one time. He tells Solo that he's got a lot to think about what he is doing to the family. Jay said that no one has more issues with Roman than he does. He left the Bloodline and went on and did his own thing. Fighting over the Ula Fala is not it. It is earned and not taken, and Solo knows that. Jay said that he can end the Roman's power all he wants, but don't divide the family to do it. Solo says that he's only trying to unite the family, and Jay better stop calling him his little brother, as he is the tribal chief now. Jay and Roman always have a place in Solo's bloodline, Solo says, but they must acknowledge him first. Solo asks if he is in or out. There's OTC chants, and Jay says that if he's trying to unite the family, then why bring Tama Tonga, Tongaloa, and especially Jacob Fatu? Like, he basically tells Solo, you know who they are in the family. They're trouble. Like, they're not good people. And Jay ends up threatening to beat up Jacob Fatu for staring at him. And Jay says next time that he sees Solo, things will be different.
Should be interesting.
Yeah. Okay. Pretty Deadly versus Street Profits versus DIY qualifier match for a shot at the tag team titles held by the Bloodlines Tama Tonga and Tongaloa. Angelo Dawkins bodied Elton Prince, who slammed into the barricade very hard. A very quick place match so far, which I'm not entirely shocked about because DIY and Street Profits are pretty damn fast. Funny codebreaker combo move by Pretty Deadly. If I'm not mistaken, it was Elton Prince had Kit Wilson on his back, like we were like back to back, but he was holding him up, and he like bumped his back up so Kit Wilson can do a codebreaker onto Angelo. It was pretty funny. Fans chant "You look stupid" to Pretty Deadly. Angelo hit Gargano, and immediately I thought I saw blood on Gargano's face, but towards the end of the match I didn't see any, so I was just kind of like, what happened? But he was also like he was not in the ring for the entire time, so I think he might have wiped it away, because I swear he got hit really hard. Street Profits did their finisher. DIY did meet in the middle, and both Street Profits and DIY made the pin with an inconclusive finish. Tommaso Ciampa, however, was the legal man, and DIY was the one who qualified.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because they both pinned, and then people were like, oh, well, who won? Tommaso was the legal man, so... Jimmy Uso and Roman are seen making their way through backstage. Jey Uso passes by them, mad dogging Roman. Roman stops Jey before he leaves to say, I'm proud of you. We all are. Jey doesn't accept and says, no ye, and leaves. Roman tells Jimmy, I told you. He knew that it was going to happen. Nia is on the phone. Tiffany is apparently down with a bad cold. Nia says that she won't have a partner, and Nick Aldis says she must find somebody else. Nia was like, well, who? And Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell show up. Candice says, champion to champion as the first ever women's speed champion. She will help her out. And Nia says, Candice better hold up her end of the bargain or else she will be destroyed. And she could do it in under 3 minutes. Piper Niven versus Lash Legend. Bianca and Jade are watching in the crowd. Lots of slamming into each other with no one really falling. Lash lifts and slams Piper. Chelsea was arguing and distracting Lash, and Lash did a very amazing finisher, lifting Piper on her back and slamming her down face first. And Lash ends up winning that match pretty clean. So
that's nice to see her that she's actually in the big leagues now.
Oh yeah, and we've mentioned her as
Right.
our favorite woman currently. So yeah, she's great, and I'm glad that she
she's
got
good.
that win.
That's
And
awesome.
Kudos to Piper Niven for doing that. Or Lynn I mean, I'm not sure why she wouldn't, but that's awesome.
Yeah, that's cool.
Backstage, and Jimmy and Roman are talking. Jimmy says Roman's got to talk to Jay. They mentioned the wise men a few times throughout this discussion. Roman says that he saw Jay, obviously, and it didn't work, so he's not going to even bother. Roman says he's got a few things to do tonight, and he's going to do it his way. Jimmy asks how he would do that, and Roman says he's going to acknowledge ... Solo. He took a big pause. He could not say that. This was long, but I shortened it because I was like, damn, who cares? Cody Rhodes comes to the ring with the crown jewel belt inside the ring as well, which looks huge, by the way. I was
It's
like,
very, very big.
it's big. I'm like, who dude, like, it's Andre the Giant size fucking championship.
It's a little bit too extra.
Yeah.
That is for sure.
Very extra for the quality of pay-per-view the crown jewel is. They may be rich over there, but damn, those matches are not that great.
Yeah, they're not a very lively crowd.
No.
That's for sure.
All right. He mentions how many great champions versus champions what ifs could have been in the past. At Crown Jewel, there would be a definitive champion. And I also added this. I love how the crowd does not care about the idea that the speech is for the Crown Jewel. Like, you'll be like, oh, yeah, that's so cool. But then you think, Crown Jewel.
It's the Crown Jewel, yeah.
He invites Gunther to stand in the ring with him next week, essentially closing it out by saying, may the best man win. Kevin Owens makes a video in his car discussing the situation with Cody. He says that it's unfair to be asked by WWE officials to not come to Smackdown where he's home to, all because he dropped their golden boy Cody Rhodes. It makes him rethink the value that the company has in him, and he can't get over what Randy had did to him, hitting him. He was betrayed by Randy, although Kevin knows he's known to betray friends. He would never do it to Randy. He can't believe Randy picked Cody over him, and he doesn't really know if he can come back. Randy is backstage after seeing this and discusses with Nick Aldis how he wants to get his hands on Kevin, and it must be at Crown Jewel. Nick Aldis says he can't do that right now. Randy says he's not asking, and Nick says, no, like, I can't, because the request is coming from up above him. And Randy says, I know who to talk to then. The game?
Interesting.
Yeah. A-Town Down Under versus Angel and Garza versus Motor City Machine Guns, Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin. Crowd was pretty hyped for them, rightfully so. I thought it was hilarious when the pyro was going on. People were dugging down like they were in like the Vietnam War.
It's like shots fired.
Yeah. Nice to see TNA crossover, this time in the main roster. Nice moonsaults by Angel and Garza. Crowd hype started dying, which made me kind of sad because I don't think most of the attendees know just how great Motor City are. Most of. There were people that definitely did.
They were doing the hand gestures, so they knew who they were.
Nice combo by Angel and Berto. Angel carrying both Alex and Grayson. That was pretty damn good. Very good show strength. Nice combo by Motor City with that little bridge and kick to the face.
Yep. That was
nice splash and neck breaker by Motor City again, and Motor City Machine Guns end up winning this match. Very nice.
Nice debut.
Nice debut, yes. 2 debuts this week. It's pretty solid.
Yeah.
Backstage, actually 3. Well, one's a return, I guess. Backstage, Andrade and Carmelo are together being interviewed. Both men bicker immediately and begin fighting backstage. The security foolishly holding back Andrade to be vulnerable, and he ends up getting socked in the stomach by Carmelo. And then the security end up pushing Melo away.
It's kind of crazy that we're going to a Game 7 series here between these guys.
Yeah.
I mean, is it...
I thought it was going to end at 3 because 3 was so
obviously their matches are great.
They're great,
but I mean,
yeah.
my question is there just nothing else?
Well, no.
No.
I guess
There's
not.
just
I mean,
really
the next move
storyline.
is...
I mean, because where could Carmelo go after this? I mean, because obviously we already know that there was the AJ Styles angle, but he's gone.
He's not going to NXT. That would just make no sense.
No, he would. No. I mean, not going there. I mean, it's like where do you put Carmelo Hayes?
Well,
I'm.
Yeah, I know. So whoever wins, obviously, is gonna go against LA Knight. So for them, but whoever loses, I'm thinking like who's.
Where do you go from there? With
I
those
don't know. Naomi and Bailey versus Nia Jax and Candice LeRae. Candice is kind of weird at selling, at least within this match. She's not very good at it.
Well, she has to wrestle more than 2 minutes. Isn't that how it is?
Yeah, it's something like that.
Isn't it? What is the speed championship?
I think it's like 5 or 3 or I don't know.
Is it 5?
I
thought it was like a 3-minute match.
Don't even ask me, bro.
Yeah, well,
I don't watch it.
We don't have X.
Yeah, I don't. I think Bailey needs to stop doing the sunset flip turnbuckle. It never goes well.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, it's not very good for her.
Not a good move.
Indy Hartwell is, ringside, and when Bailey ends up falling out of the ring, Indy Hartwell shoves Bailey into the ring post, forcing Bailey back in. Candice does her finisher onto Bailey and ends up winning the match. Nia Jax was confused.
So, I mean, obviously I'm confused. So, what is Indy Hartwell's place in wrestling right now? Nothing?
It's so crazy because she was like the top girl
she was
in
really
NXT.
Pushed in NXT.
Yeah, she was.
Got hurt.
She was.
There was the whole her with what was it, Dexter Lumis?
Yes, the
romance. There was that whole angle. That was like supposedly things that people were really behind.
Yeah, and she was in a team with Candice and
then
Gargano.
She comes into the main roster and it's just like
nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's weird because Raquel Rodriguez had a better push. At the end of the day, it's all about who you align yourself with. I'm just telling you, it's all about who you align yourself with. That's all it is.
Jesus Christ.
No, I mean, I'm not even trying to make that as a step. I'm just saying that, like, I don't remember Raquel Rodriguez in NXT. Was she?
She was pretty important. Yeah.
Was she pretty important?
Yeah, she was pretty.
Was she more important than Indy Hartwell?
No. As a champion, no.
Oh,
But who got more story? Okay, I think the indie story with Dexter was really good.
Yes.
So, in terms of better story, Indy had it, but who had more airtime, more story, I felt like it was honestly Raquel Rodriguez. But she was Raquel Gonzalez back then. Nick Aldis is being interviewed about the Melo Andrade thing. Nick says that both men are kicked out of the building, and since this is such a personal matchup, that will have to wait until obviously next week. Nick believes there should be a referee who can handle business, that being LA Knight. He said, well, honestly, LA Knight was like, I don't even know why I'm involved in this, but I'm going to call it down the middle. That's basically what he says. And no matter who wins and he faces them, they're not going to win.
I think they should just do a triple threat match between Carmelo and Andrade.
Do it at Crown Jewel. Yeah, that would make a good match. I think that would
just make more sense.
True.
Because this is not gonna. I mean, after match 7, I mean, that should be it, right?
You would hope so. By the time I'm 50, it's gonna be like match 100.
Oh, I don't think so.
No, they wouldn't be in there anymore.
No.
Roman Reigns is in the ring. This is the last thing for Smackdown. Yeah. Roman Reigns is in the ring. He asks the crowd to acknowledge him. Solo Sikoa ends up entering in gear, by the way. I was like, why is he in gear? Roman says earlier tonight he heard what he told Jay about the family and the bloodline being stronger now. Roman doesn't see it. If anything, they're divided and broken. He asks Solo what he's got to do to fix all this. Solo says, all you have to do is acknowledge me as tribal chief. Roman says, I acknowledge you. Does that make you feel better? Solo says, that's not good enough. I need you to acknowledge me as your tribal chief.
Jeez.
Or else. The crowd was chanting no. Roman shouting, or else what? Solo says, there he is. You never changed. Basically being the aggressive Roman that he's always been.
Well, what else was he supposed to say in that situation? You just basically threatened him.
Or else what? And Solo says, if you're not going to change, I'm not going to change either. The rest of the bloodline make their way. When Solo snapped his fingers, they're carrying a beaten Jimmy Uso. Roman attacks Solo and the rest of the bloodline. Roman sees the Ula Fala holding it, and as soon as he puts it on, Solo low blows him, and the rest of the bloodline attack. Jacob giving a very nasty DDT to Roman. Solo Samoan spiking Roman twice. Tama Tonga making weird noises like a feral dog throughout the whole time. He's like, yeah. That was so funny. Solo sucks chance, and Solo yells at Roman, this is my ring now. These people acknowledge me. The end.
But they didn't, though.
They didn't, though. I know, that's the funny part.
They didn't, though. I mean, wasn't it like a handful of people in the
yeah, it was like a good
in the frame of the shot.
And the frame of the shot was like a good 3.
Like 3 people sitting there spreading up their finger. I mean, what world are you living in, Solo?
Hey, I think this bloodline is better. That's just my opinion.
Well, you have to think about the reason why this one's better.
Oh, well, obviously you got fucking the rest of those guys.
Yeah, you got Fatu.
Including Tonga. And Tonga Loa, the best one.
The best one.
Next week's match card: Cody Rhodes face-to-face with Gunther. Motor City Machine Guns versus DIY #1 contenders match for the WWE Tag Team Championship. Dude, for real, I'm excited for that.
I think that's gonna be the match.
DIY can handle that style of wrestling, and that's gonna be fantastic if they play their cards right.
So, what was the NXT best match?
Oh, hold on, and Andrade versus Carmelo Hayes 7 with LA Knight as special guest referee. Best match of NXT.
Yeah. Probably the Wesley versus.
Yeah, I would say so. That triple threat.
And what would be our SmackDown?
The SmackDown one? Oh, that DIY match was pretty damn good.
So are we gonna do a card predictions for Halloween Havoc?
Yes.
And when is
Crown Jewel? I think is November 2nd. June.
Oh, so it's Saturday.
Yeah. November 2nd. And Halloween Havoc is
on Halloween, right?
No, it's the 27th.
Oh.
The 27th. Yeah. So we would have to. No, okay. No, that works because we could do the predictions for Halloween Havoc this coming week, and then we do the predictions for the Crown Jewel the next week. It works. Okay. We do it separately.
All right.
Yeah, there hasn't been many Friday videos because we pre-filmed stuff, but I haven't been able to post anything.
You're a student.
I know I'm a student who aced that exam, might I add.
Nice.
All right, side notes and news. Now the question is, are the ratings going down? That is the question of the week. NXT was down a significant 19.9% this week.
Maybe it's probably because it got moved to CW.
Well, no, actually, I think the possible reason could be, at least for this week, was the Mets versus Dodgers was that day, and competition with the NFL could be factors.
So then right there, that whole article is basically we already kind of figured as much that's what it is.
That's what it is. I mean, Smackdown viewership has been dropping as well, but not by much. Same thing with Monday Night Raw. However, the viewership rating has kind of increased. Not quite. So the viewership dropped, but the rating increased because of the change to the 2 hours. As I mentioned before, that Raw decided to take off the third hour, and that third hour has had poor ratings. So that switch basically improved the viewership. Although I argue that with the way that the show is going, I don't really think there's going to be a vast improvement, especially when SmackDown has got better returns than Roman Reigns and a debut with Motor City Machine Guns, while Raw only had Raquel Rodriguez return and NXT had Stephanie Vaquer, Julia, and Nikita Lyons.
I mean, let's just face the fact that it's like at the end of the day, Rhea Ripley can only do so much.
Why are you calling out Rhea Ripley?
Because I'm saying that's like, name another person in Raw that's like people are excited about.
Oh, it's only Rhea and... Yeah, no one's excited for Liv, I'll be honest.
Well, I mean, it's just like it's the Damian Priest angle, the Rhea thing, the whole Judgment Day thing. Right. After a while, that just doesn't hold much anymore after that.
That's true.
So, I mean, I'm not trying to diss Rhea. I mean, it's like she can do what she can. I took that personally. That's fine. And, you know, there's probably some other people that will too. That's cool. But I'm just saying that, like, the whole thing with Rhea after a while, I agree with you. Boring.
It does get boring. I agree with you.
I'm not trying to hate on her. Yeah, I'm just being real.
It's very rare for a champion to be consistently capturing the audience. I would argue someone like Seth Rollins is someone who's consistently been good at capturing the audience, and that's coming from someone who does not like Seth Rollins very much. Sure, but he's been good at it. Rhea can't do it. I'm gonna throw one out there. It's gonna be a very hot take for some people, but I don't think Cody's doing it.
And he's not.
Cody's losing me.
Not.
And I was a we want Cody. I was a Cody crybaby.
Yes.
But he's losing me, bro.
The Cody beating Roman Reigns was a peak moment.
Yeah.
But it's like
I cut him some slack because obviously that's going to be the biggest moment in his career. Following that, it's going to be hard to keep up with that caliber. But I don't think he's been given.
That's such a long-term story that they did.
Yeah.
I mean, they built that story for a while. And then it's like now
that
like, it's over. It's like, who do you have
to wrestle one, and who's gonna beat him? Two.
I mean, the Kevin Owens angle is cool,
It's cool, yeah.
but it's also just kind of like, I mean, that one actually has like ability to be somewhat good.
Right.
But like when I look on Raws, I don't see
I don't see anything
in Raw that is interesting.
That's
right
why I pointed out that this week alone, I mean, dude, we had in NXT we had Stephanie McMahon, Julia, Nikita Lyons back. Then in SmackDown we had Roman, we had Jimmy, we had the Motor City Machine Guns debut. And then all we had for Raw was Raquel Rodriguez. I mean, like, dude, that's just oh yeah, she's so beautiful.
She's great.
We saw Nikita Lyons. Yeah. Yes. Okay, let's move on because my phone's at 4%. Rikishi is at it again, now challenging Vince Russo to a fight for his recent comments on Jey Uso.
I don't know if this is even real.
Rikishi said on his podcast, okay, this is what Vince Russo said. He mentioned that he had difficulty understanding Jey Uso's promo after winning the Intercontinental Championship because Uso was so emotional, it made him hard to hear. Russo believes that Uso should have approached it more professionally, viewing the title as just a prop. He also expressed the confusion over why wrestlers get emotional about winning what is essentially a prop. Rikishi didn't appreciate it. Oh man, he was going. It's long. Look at how big it is. But I'm not gonna read the whole thing. Yeah, all he said was, Russo, first you can go fuck yourself, kind of thing. You don't have a right to talk about somebody who has laced up their boots for 17 plus years, broken bones, sweat, shed tears and blood in that
Which
ring.
is true.
And he's like, you don't have a right to open your mouth of what you think is right for a person when you finally win this so-called prop. This kid bust his ass for 16 years, so you would never know how hard the grind is, let alone not being home for his kids, traveling one side of the world
also
to the next side of the world. So I ain't hard to find my man. You want to link up, you know where to find me. Keep my family's name out of your mouth, especially my son. I agree with what he's saying. I agree
with what he's saying. I mean, I get it. Vince Russo is really only wrote stuff. You know what I mean? He's never wrestled. So it's just, I mean, making opinions and stuff is like, that's what people do. Yeah, people are going to make opinions. And I mean, obviously the only reason Rikishi touched this opinion in the first place is because he knows, because he also has history
with understanding
with Vince Russo, because he at one point in time was writing for WWE, if I recall correctly.
Yes.
So there's a reason for that kind of response from him. But again, I don't know. I think sometimes this is a shoot. I have no idea if this is like. I feel like the fact that when Rikishi makes these comments, dude, it's like he's a wrestler. He knows how to like stir the pot. I think he's just doing that stuff. I hope.
I agree with what he was saying. I just don't agree with the threat of fighting. Well, Russo ended up replying. He said, just found out why Rikishi is hot at me. What I said about a wrestler getting emotional over winning a title, I've said for years.
Right.
And while I understand that the fact that it is a writer/producer will look at something much differently than the actor or performer does, that's why they're two totally different jobs. Nothing against Rikishi or Jey. Huge fan of both, just different points of view. And also remember, merit isn't the only reason to put a belt on a wrestler. In some instances, there's a little thing called politics involved. Trust me, I know. I agree with him. I mean, they're
the
both.
Politics definitely are involved.
Exactly.
He's not wrong.
He's not wrong at all.
Wrong. He's not.
I totally agree with him.
But I think that Jey deserved a championship.
Yeah, he deserved it for sure.
I mean, his solo run has been great. The theme song, the Yeet chant, the crowd really gets into him.
Oh, yeah, dude.
It makes sense for him to have that championship.
Oh, yeah. Dude, like, I'm not the biggest fan. I like him, though. I'm not going to say, he's bad. But when we go to those shows, I mean, people have voiced that the Californian shows are the most hyped for him. They are. I mean, that makes me like him so much more. It makes me look at him so much more differently because of just how hype it is
Even
for him.
Sitting and before the matches start at a live event,
everyone's
how many damn yeets.
Yep.
And a point where I'm just like, oh God, it gets annoying. And then not only that, but then the LA Knight thing is annoying. Yeah. It was the only thing that was the
Joe
victory
Hendry.
Was the Joe Henry
thing.
That was
that's
only
tomorrow,
us
Dad.
And a few people. I know. We drove by there today.
Yeah, today he's coming over to the city. My friend's gonna go and see him. But I don't have any of his merch besides a shirt.
You could just buy his merch,
I don't. Yeah, probably that's true.
Don't I have a shirt of his?
Yeah, we both do. We have the same shirt. But all right. This is very sad. But Sabu tweeted on Twitter. He's posting, "I don't really enjoy anything anymore. I just survive." It's pretty damn depressing. But I can understand with someone
was that
who
like a cry for help.
I
Or was he talking about wrestling or just in general?
well, he has retired, right?
I know that.
I don't quite know. I mean, I know he's in a lot of pain just because of all the stuff that he's done to his body over the years.
He should be talking to his buddy RVD, dude. I mean, like.
Well, okay. So it says here, ECW legend Sabu seems to have reached the end of his in-ring career at 59, having last wrestled in 2021. Now he faces the constant pain and emotional toll of losing his partner just 3 years ago. Yeah. He said, unfortunately, this intense style took a toll on his body, leading to hip surgery in 2017, which he had to fund through a GoFundMe campaign due to not having earned enough money in his career.
Whoa.
Isn't that so
terrible.
sad?
And that's sad.
And the amount of abuse he's taken over the time.
This is a dude that put his body
on the line,
and he's basically broke.
Yeah.
Doesn't he have a Legends he doesn't have no Legends contract?
I don't know. He might. I mean, Rob Van Dam has one now.
But see, that's because Rob Van Dam spent a long time in WWE.
But
Sabu
he also did
not.
get. That's true, but he also did get booted.
That's only because of the wellness policies and shit that they have at WWE.
He does not have a Legends contract.
Because he didn't wrestle there long
I'm
enough.
just saying
I know,
that...
I'm just saying he didn't wrestle there long enough. That's sad.
Yeah, that's very sad. It's very depressing. And from the ECW, Sabu is my favorite
Tony
wrestler.
Khan can do something really to... Tony Khan could sign him right now.
I know he could. Just to show up.
I mean, because...
He has.
How many other wrestlers right now are in AEW that don't show, that are not there?
That's true.
Did you... are you going to mention about the... Brian Danielson?
I did not put that in there, but we can talk about it if you want to.
Basically, he retired.
Daniel Bryanson did retire, and I want to point out something very interesting. The last match that Bryan Danielson had on Raw was against Seth Rollins. The last match he had on SmackDown was against Roman Reigns, and the last match he had overall in his career was against Jon Moxley. Therefore, all the last matches he's had have been with members of The Shield. That's interesting.
I mean, and I will just say that I'm glad that he actually is taking that time to, for his health.
He should have done it a long time ago.
He should have done it a long time ago. And even though he went to AEW, I always liked Brian.
Oh, for sure.
For sure. I mean, that dude was an amazing wrestler. And I'm glad that he can now, he can
chill out.
He can chill out, man, for sure. So, yeah, I'm happy.
I'm happy about that. And speaking of AEW, if I'm not mistaken, because I don't pay attention very much, but I did get an article, so I was like, is this something that, am I having deja vu or something? But I think, if I'm not mistaken, Adam Cole and MJF are going to fight again, which means I'm going to watch AEW, baby.
But I also heard that angle, a lot of people are mad about the angle is because they were supposedly friends and they betrayed each other.
Well,
if I'm not mistaken. So...
Yeah.
And then some people were just kind of like, oh,
yeah, people are saying it makes no sense.
Again, which, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, people saying it makes no sense.
Okay.
But I'm like, I don't watch, but I want to see the match, you know?
Right, for sure.
Because I love Adam Cole. He's my favorite. All right, WWE wants to bring back AJ Lee. They said that they're, where's it at? Okay. According to WrestleVotes.
It's a good idea.
According to WrestleVotes, they mentioned, quotes, WWE is fully on board. If she calls and says she's in, they'll say yes. What took so long? The only people who know the answer is AJ Lee and CM Punk, end quote. CM Punk, I know, has been begging her to do it. But, yeah, he doesn't quite know if she will.
I think they're building it up. I think she is going to show up.
Oh, the Royal Rumble?
I mean, they do need to do... I'm sorry.
Damn, bro.
They need to do something with the women's division.
They do. And her skipping down to the ring would be perfect.
I think when they brought back Trish Stratus and
Trish is great.
Yeah,
Lita,
Trish
I hate.
is
We
great,
hate
Lita, whatever. I mean, it's like when they did that, it was good for a moment to kind of build the younger talent in WWE. But I think an AJ Lee coming in is actually awesome. A bigger deal.
That'd be awesome.
Especially since there are some women in the division that are very, very good.
Mm-hmm.
That will actually... I mean, it would be nice to have her actually go into an NXT kind of situation as well.
I think she will,
Yeah,
especially because of the Cora Jade stuff.
I don't think she really needs to. It's not like she needs to do some full run either.
No.
I mean, just her making some appearance
Yeah.
and presence alone is going to be beneficial.
For sure.
And that's all she really needs to do.
No. Yeah.
Yeah. She doesn't have to be freaking full time here,
No,
man.
no,
Not
no,
by any
definitely
stretch.
No. And I would be very happy if she did come back. Let's hope it's at the Royal Rumble, maybe. I hope. Or if we're talking real soon.
There's a lot of things that the Royal Rumble could
Oh,
open up.
dude, we're going to make that video. It's going to be our New Year's video. By the way, we're going to do our what we hope to see for next year and stuff. We're doing a Christmas one, too, which is our wish list. But that's, like, overall. Like, that's not... Like, I don't expect to see Samoa Joe come in next year, but he's on my wish list.
I don't expect to see Kenny Omega.
Yeah. So, but we're going to do that. And I'm going to talk about Royal Rumble. I already have it in my notes, who I expect to see and stuff. I will say Trick Williams is one of them. And he will have an encounter.
Let's not talk about it now.
I'm saying one. I'm teasing the people. But I feel like Trick Williams could have an encounter with Carmelo Hayes in the Royal Rumble when they see each other yet again.
That's kind of a given one, right?
Yeah, but I just want to say it. I mean, not everybody's going to think that way. But anyways, okay. Giovanni Vinci lost to Sheamus on the speed tournament. I felt like it was very important to say this because Giovanni Vinci has been snubbed galore.
He's 0-3. Isn't he? Isn't he over 3?
Yeah, methinks.
I don't see this. I don't even want to go down this. I don't want to go down
I know.
this
I'm like,
path
I'm going to be
again
so frustrated.
because it's like we already went over this before about storylines and the fact that you create a new angle for somebody or a new character.
Yeah.
And you do things like this that it's like, how do you recover from these situations when you're not a big name guy? You don't have a great mic skill. You don't have a great image. I mean, there's certain things that I just don't agree. I don't understand.
He's got to wait for the D'Angelos.
That makes sense, and I hope something like that occurs for him because I mean the dude's he's a great athlete. He has a good look. It makes sense. Maybe he may give him some more story time, I guess. But like, dude, I think they're throwing everyone down the speed championship to die.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, because the girl that just won the speed championship, Candice LeRae, wasn't doing really anything in the main roster at all.
Not at all.
And then she ends up winning.
But she had to get something.
And then she pulls up a victory on SmackDown. So, like, I guess in some ways that's a push in the right direction.
Well, yeah, it is for her.
Right.
All right, well, this last thing was Logan Paul asserts that he will face Jacob Fatu in the near future. Quote, this is what Logan Paul said. Quote, very clear rising star. He's one of the only guys who really stands out to me. I think everybody else sees it. While I recognize his greatness, part of me also thinks he's on my list. I'll be wrestling him in the near future, and we're going to be going at it. I sort of see him as competition. I promise you we're going to go fucking crazy. I don't know when it's going to happen, but it's inevitable, end quote. Logan Paul versus Jacob Fatu.
Are you serious?
That's what he said.
Dude, Jacob Fatu is going to destroy
Logan
Paul. I mean, like,
that's what everybody wants, too.
There is no way, dude. Like, I mean, the idea that he's even on your level, I mean, come.
Dude, you want me to tell you some absurd stuff, though?
This
is a little side note, though, for people that don't follow Logan Paul outside of wrestling. For people that don't follow Logan Paul at all, boy, he is in some hot water lately. He's doing this thing called the Lunchly, which is a Lunchable kind of ripoff, I guess, in collaboration with KSI and Mr. Beast. And actually, it's so dystopian, this thing that he did. Okay,
dystopian.
His child was just born. His first and only child that has just been born, and he made an ad for Lunchly while his wife was had just given birth to the baby.
Okay.
Was like, he was in there saying, I decorated like my wife's hospital room. We're here with their new baby, and most importantly, I get to eat my Lunchly. And made like a whole ass ad.
So he made Lunchables his own little.
It's like a Lunchable.
So it
has
something
Prime.
like this.
So yeah. So like it has the quality of like so people have ate it and said they taste basically exactly the same.
But is it?
It's better for you, quote unquote. They say it's better for you
Than Prime.
well, because the prime's in it, and then that Feastable from the Mr. Beast is like supposed to be better for you.
So it's
like it has
crackers, cheese, and like a ham.
that's one of them, and then they have another one with the pizza kind, and the nacho kind. I remember I dug the pizza and the cracker one. I did not like the nachos. What? What happened, bro?
I just saw his intro, Riley Osborne's intro. It was like someone going down a water slide that has like the weird, like psychedelic lights, and all of a sudden he did a side flip from like on the side.
Dude, he's impressive, bro.
I was like, what?
But yeah, that's basically it. You guys,
good. I mean,
good Smackdown.
Good Smackdown. Good. NXT was cool. I mean,
Raw.
actually, we have that on the background right now.
Raw shouldn't even be mentioned. Let's be real.
Raw's just come on, dude. I mean, you know what? If you want to, I'm just gonna say this really quick to bring Raw's viewership up. Whoever what was that girl's name that's coming on Halloween Havoc?
Dude, she's not going to the main roster.
Take her to the main roster and have her go against Rhea.
Dude, oh my god.
I'm telling you that is going to be that will be solid gold.
I mean, it would, but that's not what's happening.
It's not happening now, but I'm saying make it happen. The only way that you can make Raw better, in my opinion.
Make Raw better by
two big Aussie ladies that are muscular, freaking wrestling each other. I'm gonna
Sound
throw out
like
an
a
Overwatch. I'm gonna throw out an
dream.
Overwatch reference right now. Junker Queen versus Junker Queen.
Oh yeah, she looks like Junker Queen,
She
bro.
does.
She does. I'm
She
like,
does.
and when she speaks to you, I'm like,
If she has some lines,
time for the reckoning.
that would be something, man. If she does that and she yells that, I'm gonna be like, dude, she's the best wrestler.
I'm gonna start crying. Oh my god, she said it.
She said it.
All
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, sometimes, you know what, I'm just going to say, sometimes we sidetrack things because it's kind of WWE's fault sometimes.
Yeah, we have to make it entertaining.
We have to make it
somehow.
entertaining because the storylines sometimes suck.
They
So
do.
we have to throw out some Overwatch references. I mean, heaven
Some-
forbid we start going down the Marvel rabbit hole.
Oh, dude, yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
to try to make something interesting for this period of time.
Oh man, like if we talked about the Marvels when we saw it, holy shit.
Yeah, man.
That would have been something.
Yeah, that's a different time. for
Yeah.
that.
So yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah, good times. Yeah, you guys have a good one.
Yeah. All right. Bye bye.
Bye.